Hello everyone and welcome back to another Train Sim World 2 news video. Now we've got massive news today. We have a release date for the Boston Sprint route, and that is, you asked, the 19th of August. So 2 weeks from now, if you are watching them released, 19th of August, it's a Thursday. That is when the first rush hour route will be releasing, obviously being the Northeast Corridor. And we do have an article as well, which tells us all about the Northeast Corridor. Famous, fast and exhilarating. So let's get into it. Be in control with Boston Sprinter on the 19th of August. Find out more about the Amtrak and MBTA Northeast Corridor route coming to the game. So written by Gary Dalzell, obviously he does the very detailed sort of American stuff. So Boston's Providence, it is a polished rail artery between the capitals of Massachusetts and Rhode Island that at once is ultra modern and ancient in its origins. It is bustling as the northern end of Amtrak's busy Northeast Corridor also serves as the MBTA's busiest rail commuter line, and obviously arriving on the 19th of August. With the upcoming Boston to Providence route, you'll climb aboard Amtrak's state-of-the-art Siemens ACS 64 City Sprinter and MBTA's distinctive EMD F40PH-3C and MBB CTC-3 cab car to hustle passengers between classic Boston South Station and the modern Providence Station. And the upcoming route will also include MBTA's noted Staunton branch. What today serves as a multi-track, fast-paced northern end of Amtrak's Northeast Corridor was set down more than 180 years ago by the aptly named Boston and Providence Railroad, making the line one of the oldest in America. This route, completed in 1835, went on to achieve glamour and glory as part of the legendary New Haven's Railroad shoreline, linking Boston, New Haven, and New York City. Boston's magnificent South Station, a crown jewel among American railroad stations, was opened in 1899 under the auspices of the New Haven and New England's other heavyweight railroad, the Boston and Albany, part of the New York Central system. At the turn of the 20th century, South Station was proclaimed as the busiest railroad station in America, and in the decades that followed, New Haven's renowned shoreline became home of the likes of H&H's elegant Merchants Limited and beautiful streamlined Baldwin-built 464s. The Boston-Providence route, having over the decades been joined by a virtual spiderweb of other New Haven lines south of Boston, which included is the Canton-Staunton branch opened in 1845, remained part of the New Haven until the railroad was merged into the ill-fated Penn Central on December the 31st, 1968. Within but a handful of turbulent years, intercity passenger services was then assumed by Amtrak in 1971, and Penn Central was folded into Conrail in 1976. Meanwhile, today's expansive MBTA was created as state agency in 1964 and has come to be one of America's largest and most progressive regional transit systems, incorporating rail, light rail and bus services. MBTA's rail services include operations on a dozen commuter lines once operated by the New Haven, B&A in Boston and Maine. Today, the state of Massachusetts also owns the 38 Northeast Corridor route miles between Boston and Massachusetts, the Rhode Island border. Unlike the New Haven-Washington section of today's Northeast Corridor, the New Haven shoreline was traditionally not electrified. Modern electrification planning for the route dated to the Northeast Corridor Improvement Project of 1976, but political wrangling and lack of funding stalled the initiative until the 1990s, and the Northeast High-Speed Rail Improvement Program, which finally brought electrification, track improvements and the high-speed accelerator to fruition. Electrification of the 157 miles between Boston and New Haven was begun in 1996 and completed in 2000. Speed limits on select portions of the line in Rhode Island and Massachusetts were raised to 150 miles an hour for Acela and 125 miles an hour for regional trains. So it's quite a quick line. Obviously, if we do get Acela DLC in future, 150 miles an hour. That's fast, especially for an American route. Today, the 43-mile multi-track Boston to Providence route is pushing with Amtrak Intercity and MBTA commuter trains and is a captivating mix of modern and timeless prior to the pandemic, South Station alone served 1.5 million Amtrak passengers a year, and the MBTA's Boston to Staunton to Providence line welcomed an average of 25,000 plus daily riders. Today, ridership and service levels on the line are rapidly rebounding. Addition to that, being an important commuter conveyor unto itself, the MBTA Boston Staunton Providence line plays an important role in the commuter agency's overall Southside operations, as it has junctions with and in many cases supports train movements from routes including the Needham Heights, Franklin and Worcester lines. The train tomorrow 2 rush hour edition of the remarkable Boston-Providence route will bring the vitality of this extraordinary rail line to full, entertaining and challenging life. All the grand locations of the route, Boston South and Back Bay Station, Cove Interlocking, Amtrak Sprawling, a modern Southampton Street maintenance facility, Forest Hills, Reedville, Canton Junction and Viaduct, Mansfield, Attleboro, East Junction, Providence Station and more, and being meticulously recreated, and you'll climb aboard and take the throttle of the automatically modelled Amtrak ACS 64 and the MBTA EMD F40 PH3C and the CTC 3 cab cars, ready to hustle passengers to and from Amtrak station and 12th station served by MBTA on the route. In the coming days here at Dovetail Live, we'll be taking in-depth looks at operations on the always lively Boston-Providence route and at notable and distinctive locomotives and equipment to be included, so stay tuned. Obviously you got all the screenshots there, but awesome. That is the Northeast Corridor, obviously coming out on August the 19th. Brilliant there by Gary, obviously always very detailed articles and brilliant screenshots as well. But that is going to be it from me. Obviously the preview stream is tonight at 8 PM on the Train Simulator channel, obviously BST. Obviously you will find links in the description to the Discord server, to the PayPal and to the merch store if you do want to help support the channel. But yeah, that is going to be it from me. Thanks for coming in. Have a lovely rest of your day. Do leave all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. See you all. Take care. Bye, guys.